Breaking travel alert news. If you're not familiar with my channel, I report the news for Central and South America with a special attention on Medellín, Colombia, and Colombia as a whole. I have 3 stories to tell today. One is an unfortunate announcement. Again, we have lost another American. And 2 are on travel and transportation and how the government is alerting us as to which countries are safe and which countries are best to stay away from. Let's jump into this first story right away. Why has the U.S. issued a terrorism travel alert for Mexico? This new alert comes after months of intense pressure from the U.S. President Donald Trump over issues like immigration and criminal gangs. As violence and economic turmoil escalate in Culiacan 1 year after the abduction and extradition of Sinaloa cartel leader Ismael El Mayo Zambada to the United States, the U.S. State Department has issued an updated travel warning for Americans visiting Mexico, citing risk of terrorism, crime, and kidnapping. The move follows months of intense pressure from President Donald Trump over issues such as immigration and the activities of criminal gangs involved in goods smuggling and human trafficking. The United States government issued a new travel alert for Mexico, warning of terrorism, violence in 30 of its 32 states. It's the first time Washington has ever sounded the alarm on Mexico for terrorism risk. The advisory paints a grim picture, soaring rates of homicide, kidnapping, carjacking, and robbery, alongside a new warning of possible terrorism attacks and terrorist violence. It warned, urging Americans to take precautions. The travel alert was raised to level 2, exercise increased caution on a scale of 4 levels. Which places did the U.S. warn about and why? The alert warns Americans not to travel to Colima, Guerrero, Michoacán, Sinaloa, Tamaulipas, and Zacatecas provinces due to terrorism, violent crime, and kidnapping. These states are marked red on a map and classified as level 4, the most unsafe per the U.S. Travelers are advised to reconsider visiting Baja California, Chiapas, Chihuahua, Coahuila, Guanajuato, Jalisco, Morelos, and Sonora for the same reasons. These appear in orange and are rated level 3 or marginally safer. Another 16 states, including Mexico City and the state of Mexico, Quintana Roo, Oaxaca, Tabasco, Morelos, Aguascalientes, Baja California Sur, Durango, Hidalgo, Nayarit, Nuevo León, Puebla, Querétaro, San Luis Potosí, Zacatecas, and Veracruz fall under exercise increased caution. While there are no outright travel bans, the advisory notes that both violent and nonviolent crimes are common. These areas are shown in yellow and are listed under level 2. Only Yucatan and Campeche remain at a level 1, the lowest risk, highlighted in blue. What is the backdrop for this advisory? According to experts, these actions follow increased pressure from Trump, which has prompted the Mexican government to take a range of measures. Earlier this week, Mexico extradited 26 alleged cartel members to the U.S. in what appeared to be an effort to ease Trump's demands for stronger action against fentanyl smuggling and organized crime. In a statement, the U.S. Embassy said those extradited included key figures from the New Generation Cartel and the Sinaloa Cartel, Mexico's 2 most powerful organized crime groups. This marks the second mass transfer of the year. In February, Mexican authorities sent 29 alleged cartel leaders to the U.S., a move that stirred debate over its political and legal merits. Among them was Caro Quintero, a founding member of the Guadalajara cartel, accused of deleting DEA agent Enrique Kiki Camarena in 1985. U.S. officials had requested the extraditions, pledging not to seek the death penalty. Mexico described the suspects as high-risk criminals tied to drug trafficking and other serious offenses. While extraditions are not uncommon, they are typically carried out in 1s and 2s, but this year alone, Mexico has already handed over 55 people. The transfers follow months of U.S. pressure reinforced by tariff threats and reports that Trump directed the Pentagon to consider military action against Latin American cartels. According to these reports, the order would permit direct military operations on foreign soil and in corresponding territorial waters against organized criminal groups. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum has said the U.S. and Mexico are close and finalizing a security agreement to boost cooperation against cartels. But she has firmly rejected the idea of unilateral U.S. military operations on Mexican soil. How has Mexico responded to the new alert? Sheinbaum downplayed the updated travel advisory. She argued the change stems from Washington's decision to label cartels as terrorist organizations, done through an executive order earlier this year, rather than from any new security reality. Sheinbaum stressed that Mexico remains the top destination for U.S. travelers, with about 1 million Americans living in the country, and noted that popular areas such as the Southeast Baja California Peninsula, Pacific Coast, and Mexico City continue to attract visitors despite the warning. How bad is Mexico's violence problem? Bad, but it's improving. According to a 2024 report from Human Rights Watch, violent crime in Mexico has risen sharply since the government began its war on organized crime in 2006. However, this year, Sheinbaum can report a 25.3% drop in daily homicides over her first 11 months in office, from 86.9 per day in September 2023 to 64.9 now, the lowest monthly figure since 2015. While Mexico remains one of the world's most violent countries, the decline is seen as a significant improvement credited her administration's security strategy, but also U.S. pressure. When Trump took office, he quickly warned Mexico that it had to show real progress in stopping the flow of fentanyl, a GERD that was killing hundreds of thousands of Americans, or face steep trade tariffs. He promised to push Mexico hard to curb GERD trafficking and illegal migration, making it clear that there would be serious economic consequences if it didn't act. In Sheinbaum's first year in office, authorities have seized more than 3.5 million fentanyl pills and arrested at least 29,000 suspects, including high-level cartel leaders with local and national reach. Security Chief Omar Garcia Harfuch credited the success to the crucial work of specialized intelligence and investigative units. However, in places like Sinaloa, the bloodshed escalated sharply after the arrest of major figures, including Ismael Zambada, the leader of the Sinaloa cartel, in August of 2024. During the first 6 months of this year, authorities recorded 883 homicides in the state, up from just 224 in the same period last year, with most killings concentrated in Culiacan. The violence may be only part of the toll. Since Zambada's arrest, more than 1,500 people have gone missing in Sinaloa. Security officials believe criminal groups are behind many of these disappearances, suggesting the real cost of the crackdown could be even higher. Zambada, one of Mexico's most notorious accused GERD lords, was captured at an airfield near El Paso, Texas, alongside Ovidio Guzman, a son of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, the former leader of the Sinaloa cartel, who is serving a life sentence in a U.S. prison. Zambada claims Guzman Lopez kidnapped him and handed him over to U.S. authorities. Now, again, I told you in the beginning I had unfortunate news to have to pass on again. This time it's in Medellín, Colombia again. This story has not made the news as of yet. William Patiño, 35 years old, with no obvious signs of health problems, passed away suddenly while walking with another veteran in Sabaneta 3 days ago. The Patiño family will be hosting a viewing for William Patiño in Medellín on Sunday, August 17th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The location in the Pineria Campo de Paz, Calle 2 Sur 65-263, Guayabo, Medellín, Antioquia, Colombia. In celebration of William's life, we invite everyone to wear white. We will share the room's number as soon as it is assigned. A second viewing will be held in Miami once William arrives, which we will expect to be next Thursday or Friday. We will announce the exact date and time once confirmed. William Patiño has been approved for burial with honors at the South Florida National Cemetery in recognition of his service as a U.S. Army veteran. Again, our condolences to the family and friends of Mr. William Patiño. And thank you for those who take care of our fallen, especially our fallen military in Colombia. They do a job, so much props to them. What does the U.S. say are the safest places to visit in Latin America? These are the places that are safe to travel to in Latin America and the Caribbean, according to the United States. And is Colombia in it? According to alerts issued by the U.S. State Department, only 4 countries are safe for travel, along with some states and some islands. In the latest travel alert issued by the U.S. State Department, the United States provided its citizens with a risk assessment when choosing a destination for travel to during this summer season. In this report, the risk is due to what the United States government considers to be safe or unsafe places for its citizens, this being a tool that can serve to consolidate a place as a tourist destination. In that alert, which can be viewed on the State Department's official website, there are several points rated 1, which would mean that they are the safest territories for Americans to visit. The list of safe havens in Latin America and the Caribbean consists of 7 locations in the continental shelf and a group of islands approved by the U.S. government. Latin American countries that are safe for travelers are Paraguay, El Salvador, Suriname, and Argentina. French Guiana and the Mexican states of Yucatan and Campeche complete the group of destinations within the continental shelf. Regarding the islands, Aruba, Bonaire, the Cayman Islands, the British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Bethany, St. Bartholomew, Saba, St. Eustatius, St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua and Barbuda, Montserrat, Guadalupe, Grenada, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, Barbados, and St. Vincent of the Grenadines are the safest destinations in the Caribbean, according to the organization. The Falkland Islands in the south of the continent also pose the lowest risk to the United States. Is Colombia a safe country to travel to, according to the United States? According to the alert issued by the U.S., Colombia has a risk level of 3, reconsider travel, says the U.S. entity map, warning that there are some areas with a higher security risk. Considering that the risks are 1 to 4, Colombia has the second highest risk in South America, only behind Venezuela, which has an alert level of 4, means do not travel. This is the travel alert for the United States, where blue represents level 1, lowest risk, yellow represents level 2, orange represents level 3, and red represents level 4, the highest risk, where the recommendation is not to travel. Mexican citizens come in second, representing 8% of travelers to the country. Ecuador's neighbors are in third, accounting for 6.7% of all tourists. So there you go. You're up to date with the latest news out of Central and South America, where it has to do with what the U.S. says are the best places for us to travel to. Also, I want to remind you guys about the Expat Corner. It's a new segment that I'm going to try to do once a week, where I get to read stories from you, the expats who live there. So if you live in Colombia, anywhere in Colombia, it doesn't have to be Medellín, but if you live in Colombia and you have a story to tell, meaning you've lived there for some period of time and you just want to give your feedback on what life is like for you, some of the pitfalls you fell into, something positive that other people coming behind you can get the benefit of. I think it's good to give you guys a spot where you can put that information out there. So again, contact me at dcbornrobgroup@gmail.com, dcbornrobgroup@gmail.com, and we'll go from there. Again, this is going to be called the Expats Corner. So you have a place here. Remember that, expats. And for visitors, this is perfect for you. You may not know that Colombia is a place that's on your move to list. Is it? I know some of you guys, it is on your move to list. You're actually in the process of moving now. So this is going to be some beneficial information for you. Again, you're up to date with the latest news out of Central and South America. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to travel, but travel safe.
Thanks for hitting like. Thanks for hitting like. dcbornrob.
So hey girl, thanks for coming by my place.
No worries. You mind if our girlfriend can come by with us?
Hell no. This is why I watch DC Rob.
Headed to Medellín, Colombia? See my guy Andres with Nomad Travel for safe airport pickups and drop-offs and tours. Contact information in the description below.